The UNL Research Project, or more specifically the Youth Participatory Action Research Project, is, from my understanding, a student-led group in which said students try to systemically research to improve the lives of the community and them. But what do I know? Let's hear from those organizing the group.
So you had asked us, sort of writ large, what is this? And so I'm a professor at UNL. My name's Ted Hammond, along with my colleague Lydia Caramba, who is also a professor in the Department of Teaching and Learning and Teacher Education at UNL. The two of us first started coming up to South Sioux City 2+ years ago. The person we were working with then since left South Sioux City High School, Mrs. Carlson, sort of agreed to sort of take on the role, but there was a sort of a gap year, if you will, between year one and this is the third year our program has existed and the second year that we're here. What is this? One shorthand is this is YPAR, which is an acronym for Youth Participatory Action Research, and working with an overlapping population as the Educator Rising Initiative. We are working with South Sioux City High School students who in most cases have at least a vague interest in prospectively becoming teachers, or it's not off the table. I'm not 100% sure I want to be a teacher, but maybe. But more importantly, they're interested in some topic related to education in some fashion. Youth participatory action research, the youth part is sort of self-evident. It means working with high school youth. Participatory action research is a long-standing and very variable research tradition that has as its grounding the idea of helping people better understand dynamics, circumstances, trends, stuff going on for the purpose of changing/improving them. So it's applied, it imagines a better world, and then the question is sort of how to study it. To give an example of one of the research projects that seems to be emerging so far this year, we have a group of students who are looking at motivation, more particularly what motivates students to do well at school, to persevere at school, what can inhibit a student from feeling very motivated, what can make them slow down or be frustrated or sort of turn away. And if we understand motivation as an important ingredient in a successful learning formula, it's not the whole picture, but it's an important part. If we realize when motivation is a lack of motivation is a hazard or is an obstacle, then we're in a position to troubleshoot, okay, what would make that better? And the range of solutions could vary widely. Well, motivation would work better if students were better rested. Motivation would work better if students had sources of affirmation that, as they were working on a hard project, urged them along. Students would feel more motivated if they felt that their peers cared. All of those are possibilities. We'll see what the research comes up with. But those would be examples of kinds of deliberation that relate to what school is, and what perhaps could make school better understood in this case is more successful for more students. That's me doing an awful lot of the talking. I feel like I should hand you the mic a little bit, but I can share why is Mrs. Carlson part of this process, at least in part. Dr. Caramba and I get to come up here about once a month. That makes our presence kind of scattershot. The students here who work with us seem to like us. We certainly like them, but we don't show up in their lives very often. Whereas Mrs. Carlson is here 5 days a week. She's in a position to send out emails. She's in a position to say hello to somebody in the hallway. She has some of these students in her class. And so there's a number of virtues she brings to the table, but one of them is this continuity of, remember, we're still working on this project. Remember, this is where these things go. And let me actually, there's one more background piece, and then literally Andrew might have lots of additional stuff if you want. South Sioux City is one of 5 high schools currently participating in UNL YPAR. And every year, so this time will be the 3rd time, at the end of the academic year, so in our case, Monday, April 29th, we host a one-day summit down at UNL where all of the teams of researchers, so kids from here, South Sioux City, kids from Wakefield High, students from Columbus High School, students from Skyline High School, and then down in Lincoln, students at Lincoln High, will present present what they figured out, present what they've learned. And there's the excitement of making your own presentation. There's the excitement of watching peers from your own school, peers from other schools, sort of talk about what they've figured out. And one of the reasons for bringing everybody down to UNL is to make more tangible the idea, well, after high school, I'm heading to college. And after college, I could go to the state's flagship public university. And so we see it as direct outreach on the part of UNL. If somebody says, I'm interested in being a teacher and Morningside's closer, that's fine, that's great. Let's have them do that. But what we're hoping to make more tangible for students here, people who participate in the group, is the idea of going on to the university and ideally going on to teacher ed. And I would argue that YPAR, learning how to sort of pursue a problem and problem solve it, is kind of what teachers do day in, day out. How is it that I'm going to get somebody to pay attention to Kill a Mockingbird? How is it that I'm going to get somebody to understand a geometry proof? How is it that I'm going to, get the fact that students are hungry when they come to my class and worrying more about where they can scrounge snacks than why they should pay attention to U.S. history, right? I mean, whatever the little dilemmas are of daily practice, teachers play a key role in helping troubleshoot. And so this is kind of troubleshooting practice, if you will.
Okay, so this is just my first year working with the group, and I was excited to be able to kind of draw in some of the students. Some of the students that are involved have done this 3 years ago now, and they are repeat participants. And last year, they really approached me and said, are we doing this year? So there's that sense of excitement about getting to work as a group and doing this research. And so, I mean, we're not to make a commercial out of this or anything, but we have a pretty large group of seniors. So as this project continues next year, we're going to be searching for additional students who are interested in doing some research with this group, and hopefully led once again by our UNL professors.
We have a grant from the U.S. federal government. The grant title is called Project Raíces, which is just an acronym, but it's under a category called Supporting Effective Educator Development. And one of our hopes is that by being at this stage of the process working with high school students, we're setting up folks who may someday be at UNL as pre-service teachers. And UNL is big, UNL is anonymous. Who do I know? Wait, I know a couple of education professors. Okay, and I know actually a couple people that the education professors know because I saw them at the YPAR Summit, because I actually did this group project with them, and there's several of us now who form a little miniature cohort who were SSC Cardinals and now are, pre-service teachers as Nebraska Cornhuskers. So there is a intended continuity here between high school and college. And then I'm going to throw at you an acronym, GYO, which is short for Grow Your Own. But our big picture vision would be to take a high school student from here, get them excited about becoming a teacher, get them excited about problem solving, get them to come to UNL or anywhere else, but to prepare as teachers, and then to come home as teachers and work here as educators for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years or an entire career. And one of the things we know about new teacher recruitment is a school district is more likely to keep a teacher who is familiar with the dynamics, who sort of knows how a place operates. One of the best ways to know how a place operates is you're from there. So a grow your own population, former high school students trained in college and then back as professional teachers, there is a higher likelihood that such a profile of teacher will say yes to a job offer, will succeed, and will stay. And so this is also part of an intermediate long-term goal of helping South Sioux City schools seed themselves in terms of, and if you look at who's in there, a lot of the students who are doing the group look like who I imagine 5, 10, 15 years from now South Sioux City schools are going to continue to teach. And so that's also, I think, attractive, is to get folks from here who know of here to become teachers here.
And really that's where the connection between the UNL research program here and the Educators Rising comes into play, because we want our students to return home and become teachers here. Dr. Ortega has expressed a lot of real great excitement for this project and for promoting that idea of having our students return and be leaders in the classrooms here. Our Educators Rising group, we are always looking for people who are interested in becoming teachers. And the things that we promote in Educators Rising, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a teacher, but we're relating to the community and we're bringing these ideas that we're researching here and looking to better our community. My students in Educators Rising have stepped outside and they're volunteering to help at Family Literacy Night here in the district. And you don't have to be a teacher or a future teacher to know that getting involved in your community is a great thing. And coming back to your community after college is even a better thing. Anything else?
I don't know that I have any sort of one-line pithy, this would be great if. But one of the things I will say is one of the things that really attracts me to YPAR, attracts me to youth participatory action research. I think when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, you often have a mind full of ideas. School would be better if. I wish school could do, sort of fill in the blank. This is something I wish was different. And one of the virtues of YPAR is it helps people build empirical data or find evidence. It helps them make a case for, I may be 17 at this point. It may seem like a world where 50-year-olds are making the decisions, but I should be heeded. I should be listened on this thing because I've studied it carefully, I've thought about it, I've practiced, I've rehearsed, my understanding of whatever the issue is, and this place would be better if. And the idea that high school students ought to be listened to about making community better, making school better, why not? It doesn't mean any idea is automatically a good idea, but we're better served if we figure out ways to help students like you, but students like them, articulate, this would be better if, and then play a role in actually helping build that new and more exciting world.
So there it is. Special thanks to Ms. Carlson and the professors for letting us interview them. And if this sounds interesting to you, be sure to check it out next year. Bye.